everyone, welcome back. Today I have a whole lot of stuff I need to prep for the game. So I need to get started making my coconut cake. Now it's a poke cake, kind of like the one that I did when I first started my channel with the pumpkin, but it's just a little bit better because I love coconut. Who out there loves coconut? I need to get started. Let's go. I'm not sure when I got this recipe. It was probably one of those years ago when I just wanted to have a go-to vanilla cake and a go-to chocolate cake. And I have the chocolate, like I love my brownie mix. I think it's wonderful. And so I just needed something for a vanilla cake. So this cake, I'm sure I stumbled across on Pinterest and loved it. So the thing that you're gonna need, a pot. So I do everything in the pot. So it's very easy in that regards. And today I'm going to cook it on a sheet pan because we're having friends coming over tomorrow to watch the game. And you may know them, Phillips, Fam Bam. Anyways, I'm going to be getting this cake ready. So I kind of want it to be nice and big so that the kids, there's going to be plenty. Sometimes I cook it in a 9x13 pan and it's a lot thicker and more dense, kind of like a muffin, but I'm going to follow the recipe today just for you. So first I'm going to need butter and water. It's just going to look like this. You're just going to move it around, get everything nice and melted in there. And then we'll add the ingredients next of the flour, the sugar, baking soda. I'm missing something else, but I'll put it in the pot. Butter is all melted and I can show you. I don't know how well. It's just liquidy. So to that, we're going to add 2 cups of sugar. Sorry, I'm reaching over. I gotta get my measuring cup. So two cups of sugar. And 2 1/4 cups of flour. See how I have everything in like these big bins? It's just easier that way. 1, 2. I gotta get the 1/4 cup. Yeah, if you guys didn't see my kitchen, it's quite in a disarray. Do you ever do that? Like you just have a big mess because you know you're just going to have everything cleaning up. So you might as well just let it go overnight or another day because you're like, we're deep cleaning. That's us right now. So I have those things going and I'm going to be using my whisk to put it in there. So plus I want to also add some salt and some baking soda. And because I added, I didn't add unsalted butter. I used regular butter. So I'm just going to cut back on the salt. So it calls for 1/2 teaspoon. So I'm just going to do a tiny little 1/4 teaspoon. And then a baking soda is 1 teaspoon. And then using the whisk, it's going to kind of all blend in together. It's going to be awesome. And look, I didn't have to get more pots and pans or dishes and bowls going. So I'm going to get this going and I'll show you what that looks like. Here it is. It's really nice and blended well. I think it's one of the easiest ways to make a cake mix without having to bust out the hand mixer. So look at how great that's looking. Now I'm just going to add 2 eggs and some vanilla, and then I will also be putting in some sour cream. Yay, that will make it so moist. So my cake mix is all done. I don't really think, yum, right? It kind of reminds me of making like a really yummy cake mix from the box, but I know of everything, all the ingredients that are in here. I like to use organic flours and sugars and things like that, so it smells really good. But if you don't want to make your own cake, and that's totally up to you, you could just follow a cake recipe from a box, like a yellow cake or a white vanilla cake. It's totally up to you. Just check your pantry. You might already have some like that. You can use it, just make it in a 9x13. This one I'm putting on a sheet. So I sprayed it very, very well, liberally, because you want to make sure that these pieces come out when they're ready to come out. So let me get all this lovely goodness out. And actually, this is the first time, I think I mentioned that I made it on a sheet cake. Normally, I just make it a little more dense in a 9x13 because I like the way that tastes, and because I'll be poking it anyways, it tends to go right through. So, but like I said, I want to make sure we have enough for everybody. So this seems to be the more ideal cutting situation for the big game. Who's so excited? So I'm one who just likes the commercials and the cooking. That's just who I am. I don't have a favorite team. I don't have a favorite, you know, I don't know. But I do have favorite commercials. And so I love halftime shows. So I am going to be putting this into the oven at 375 for 20 minutes. It doesn't take very long because it's kind of spread out. And 20 minutes is not enough time for me to do my hair, because now it's getting to a length where it's harder to blow dry. It takes a lot longer. So I need to curl it, like the loose curls. And I have to make sure it's dry first. So it's still morning. It's only like 9:30. It's good. We're going to have the rest of the day. So I'm going to get this going and I'll show you what it looks like. Look how perfect. Aww. It is ready to be poked. So I have a skewer. A skewer works perfect if you don't have a skewer, fork, and just poke it all the way around. We want all of this coconut, cream of coconut to go all the way to the bottom pretty much, so that way it will just drench the cake. So it's so good too. Nice and sweet. Oh, this is going to be so good. I can already smell it. So I will have the recipe at the end of the video with all of the exact measurements. Take a screenshot, write it down, whatever it is that you do. But this one is definitely a keeper. Mm-hmm. So I won't be taking a bite because that might be a little bit of a faux pas, right? To cut a big piece out of it and eat it so everybody can go, what happened to that piece of cake right there? I mean, it is the Phillips, but maybe I should refrain. So I'm just kind of poking it all the way through. And while I'm doing that, I can tell you the next thing I'm going to be working on with my husband later is Captain Crunch chicken strips. And those are one of our faves, and we only do them for Super Bowl. So that is going to be super yummy. It isn't, any of my recipes don't have to be for specific events like Super Bowl. You could have it for your family, maybe like a special dinner or just for dinner that night. It is well worth it. Okay, so if you saw my haul, you saw that I got this in like the beer liquor section and it is super good. It's like nice and sweet. I won't use it all. I probably will use half to 3/4. Now this is preference. So depending on how big the cake is, you want to make sure that you're going to drench it enough the way you want it, because this is preference. So I want to make sure I'm getting it all into these holes. Normally, like I said, I make it by a 9x13 and I have leftovers. Maybe because it's so big, I won't have leftovers. But if you do have leftovers, you can put it in some Diet Coke or some Diet Dr. Pepper and make them a little dirty. Those are our favorite drinks. And after this, you're just going to let it cool. So I'm just going to let it come to room temperature, and then I'll show you what I do afterwards. But it will include Cool Whip. And super easy. I think I got it going. So now I am going to let it come to room temperature. It's come to room temperature, kind of. It's mostly there. It's been over an hour. I've been already cleaning my house. I'm working up a sweat. So I just need to get this into the refrigerator and be done with it, right? Because it'll be ready for tomorrow. We can put it in the back refrigerator and I can cover it up with some saran wrap And out of sight, out of mind, and it won't keep tempting me. Okay, Cool Whip. I know for convenience, I'm just going to use Cool Whip. I know if you are ones who love making your own whipped cream, I agree. It tastes better. But for convenience and for time, I am just going to use this. And I'm just going to use probably this whole thing. And I'm just going to smear it around, make it nice and even. And then I'm just going to top it with coconut. And that is it, my friends. I bought this at the store this morning, so it still has like a little bit of a interesting middle right now, a little colder middle. So I'm just going to spread this around and then top it with the coconut, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's all done. I'm just finishing up with just topping the rest with just a little bit of the coconut. It smells so good, and it almost takes this whole, well, maybe like 2/3 of the bag or so. So I have some left over. I can make some of those yummy coconut bars. So I will make those, I'm sure, for my family, because nothing goes to waste here, right, when it's all sweet. Okay, so I'm just trying to pat it in to make sure it's covered up all of that Cool Whip. And the reason being is because I'm going to be putting saran wrap on there, and I don't want my saran wrap to cling to the Cool Whip. So here it is. Oh, it's got some yum. Isn't it great? It smells delicious, and if you love coconut, you're gonna love this cake. So whether you make it from scratch or make it from the box and then poke the holes through and put in the cream of coconut, you're gonna love this delicious cake. And it's so easy, right? I mean, it was just a few steps, even if you make it from scratch. So I'm so glad that you visited my channel to get to see this lovely cake being made for the big game tomorrow. And stick around, there's some other ones, some other videos that are going to be rolling out very soon. Have a great weekend and have a great evening or morning whenever you're seeing this. And stay tuned, they're coming out. All those videos are rolling out soon. Bye.